Well, as somebody who has just moved house, I have been having a real challenge with the need to be productive, but also doing a bit of procrastination. Sometimes I do try to argue with myself that what some may call procrastination is actually just pondering. I'm really just thinking about it. I wonder if there's anything to that personal policy of mine. Psychology consultant and author Dr. Jo Lukens is with me. Good morning.
Good morning, Susan.
Dr. Jo, so can procrastination lead to increased creativity and productivity?
Well, much as you're alluding to, Susan, with your pondering, and I think sometimes it is very much about how we define what's happening for us, but we do know that when there's a little bit of a, let's call it a delay, shall we, between thinking I need to do a task and then actually getting in and doing the task or completing the task, it does offer us that opportunity to kind of think about the task a little bit more, and whether we're doing that actively or whether we're out by the washing line thinking we're doing something else, but at some other level we're thinking about it. Sometimes we do find that delay can actually lead to more creative solutions, gives us a chance to approach the task with a fresh perspective. And I guess the key thing there will just be to distinguish between productive delay and harmful avoidance.
I like that. So what is productive procrastination and how can that be beneficial?
Yeah, so productive procrastination involves engaging in useful tasks whilst avoiding the primary task that you're thinking that you're going to do. So you might avoid unpacking the kitchen, say, with your housekeeping example, and go and do some other things. But at some level, you're kind of thinking through, well, where am I going to put everything and how's that going to work? And what's going to be, most efficient for us in the household, and what am I going to toss out? All those sorts of things that we might do. So sometimes engaging in smaller tasks prior to getting back to the main task actually gives us a little bit of space to think about it at different levels.
Okay, this is validating. I'm really appreciating this, Dr. Jo Lukens. So how can we use this? How can we harness procrastination-induced pressure for increased productivity?
So this is one thing that lots of people talk to me about. They say, look, if I've got 3 days to write a report, it will take me 3 days. If I've got 3 hours to write the report, I'll still get the same thing done in 3 hours. So some people do find that they work best under some time pressure, and they find it easier to put the time pressure right before it's due rather than just saying, Wednesday I've got this report due, and so I've got to get it done in 3 hours today on Monday. So someone I was talking to just the other day was saying to me part of the reason they think they do that is they have these sort of perfectionistic tendencies and they get in the way of them actually finishing the task. So what he's going to work on is working on the bare bones of the task and getting it done, say, today, and then allowing a half an hour on the Wednesday to then go in and put his perfectionistic brush over it if that's what he wants to do.
Scaffolding procrastination. Is that what that is?
Yeah. Well, it is. I guess it's knowing what your own style is and where you slow yourself down and how you can make it more efficient.
Interesting. So how can workplaces and organisations sort of foster an environment that recognises the benefits of strategic procrastination?
I think it's important for organisations to create that environment that has both timely action. Of course, there are deadlines and things that need to be done by a specific time, but also allowing for some of that strategic thinking that sometimes when you sit people down and say, like if you sat around a boardroom table and said, everyone give me three great ideas now, you're going to be pushed to do that. You might need some time to think. You might need to get on your feet. You might need to wander around. So I think it's about organisations even talking about that process and understanding the different ways that people bring about productivity and creativity. And sometimes it's that delay that happens because people just simply need more time to think it through.
I like to think of it as letting it simmer, letting it marinate a little. Psychology consultant Dr. Jo Lukens, thank you very much for being with me today.
Always good to speak with you, Susan.
Thank you. You are on ABC Queensland.